What's going on, guys? Austin Zaback here with another YouTube video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the 5 smartest purchases that you need to make in your 20s. Now, these purchases are the top 5 purchases that'll help you out in every area of your life. Whether or not you want to go get a phenomenal career, you eventually want to grow old, you want to retire, you want to live the dream, whatever it is that you want to do in your life, as long as it has to do with growing, evolving, and becoming a better person, then you're going to want to go ahead and take a quick minute and just smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, because this is the video for you. And not to mention, these purchases are ones that I wish I would have made, okay? But now looking back on it, I'm like, you know what? Look, if I can just help out other people, then I guess that'll just have to suffice for me. But again, just go ahead and pay attention. And the best part about it is no matter what age you are, these are things that you can really work towards. So maybe you're watching the video and you're like,
Austin, you know, you're 5 minutes in and you're like, these purchases aren't even ones that I can make. They're not even ones that I would want to make.
Just stay to the end of the video, I promise, okay? These are things that you can work towards, and this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to buy all of them right now. So when I was creating the list, I really thought to myself, I was like, you know, what are the things that if I could go back in time and do it all over again, that I would really want to buy at a younger age? And not only that, what are the things that are practical, right? What are the things that would have been realistic for me to buy back then? Okay, not things that, you know, looking at it now I would have bought, and obviously things have changed, right? So, you know, just remember that these are things that I think are very practical, they're very attainable, and they're very doable, along with the fact that you should absolutely do them. So the very first thing that I wish I would have bought, and honestly, the day I turned 18, okay, but for sure in my early 20s, is a multiplex, okay, a multi-family piece of real estate. Now, before you click off the video, you're like, Austin, what in the world? Okay, I promise you, there's gonna be purchases that aren't as expensive either, but I'm gonna show you why this purchase is not only one that I would personally make immediately, but how you can also do it, right? How it's actually attainable for the average everyday person. There are multiple different articles, such as money.com and Bigger Pockets and all sorts of other articles talking about how millennials are house hacking more than ever. Now, maybe you're new to my channel and you're like, Austin, I have no idea what house hacking even means. And I just randomly clicked on the video because the YouTube algorithm pushed it to millions and millions of people, and it had millions of views, so I just decided to click the video. So the beautiful thing about house hacking is you have to live somewhere regardless, right? Maybe you're 18, you're 19, you're 20, 21, 22, 23, maybe you're 25, and you're like,
Austin, you know, I'm already having to live somewhere, right? I gotta move out of my parents' house and I gotta move in somewhere.
And what a lot of people do is they end up renting, and I would totally discourage you from renting if you're just starting out, and I would encourage you to buy a duplex, a triplex, or a quadplex and live in one of the units, rent out the other units, and have your tenants paying your mortgage. Now, you can literally get an FHA loan, okay? You can get seller concessions on an FHA loan with as little as 3.5% down, and again, your tenants will pay your mortgage, right? So in a nutshell, okay, to keep it very, very simple, you're gonna literally live rent and mortgage free, okay? Now, obviously, you've gotta find a duplex, a triplex, or a quadplex in a good area. You've gotta make sure it's priced right. You've gotta make sure the rental rates are going to be enough to cover the entire mortgage, right? The principal, the interest, the taxes, and the insurance. But again, it is 100% doable in all 50 states, and I encourage you to do just that. This is gonna do so much for you when you're young, right? Rather than throwing money down the drain on rent or even throwing money at a mortgage, you know, have your tenants paying your mortgage for you. Not only are you gaining equity in the property, you're actually getting to depreciate the property on your taxes, which you might not know a whole lot about, and I definitely will save that to another video or for another video, but at the same time, it'll allow you to take the money that you would have otherwise spent on the rent or on the mortgage, and now you can maybe go ahead and diversify in the stock market, right? In a good ETF, in a good mutual fund, or maybe even more real estate. Look, at the end of the day, investing when you're young is the most crucial thing that you'll ever do, okay? I promise you, right? You don't want to wait until you're 30, 40, 50, or 60 years old to start investing. You certainly don't want to rely on Social Security. We don't know if that'll be a thing by the time we get older. We've seen a ton of different things that have said, hey, by the time I'm 60, I probably won't have Social Security, right? So you want to invest young, and what not not then a better way to do it than house hacking. The second best purchase that you can make in your 20s is... I know you're like,
Austin, I don't want to freaking read books, okay? I don't want to do any of that.
I promise you, the best investment you can make in your 20s is in yourself, okay? My mentor said, Austin, he said the most expensive real estate in the world is the 6 inches between your ears. So obviously when we're talking about investing in yourself, there's so many different things you can do, right? You can buy some books, you can get a journal, you can start journaling, right? You can go ahead and download an app on your phone that allows you to meditate every morning. One of my favorite ways to meditate, okay, and meditation is honestly phenomenal. It is a total investment in yourself. It is an investment of time. It is an investment of energy, and it might even be a very small investment of money. And one of my favorite apps is actually Headspace, okay, and I don't know if you can see that. No, they are not sponsoring the video, okay? I'm actually not big enough right now on YouTube to have a sponsor, but I know by the end of the video, I just might be, okay? Because I know you're gonna take just a quick minute and you're gonna smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. I was looking at an interesting statistic saying 14% of Americans have tried meditating at least one time. But what is very interesting about that statistic, and again, there's only about 253 million adults in the US, and obviously they surveyed probably only adults, okay? But the reality of it is about 3% of the world also control about 97% of all the money, right? And this isn't a video talking about, you know, if you invest in these 5 things or make these 5 purchases, you know, you'll eventually drive a Bugatti or live in a mansion or fly a private helicopter or whatever, right? That isn't what this video is about, okay? But what it is about is there is a concept, right, that I want you to kind of take into consideration, okay? That there's a direct result, right? A direct correlation, I might add, you know, of people that have a lot of money and people that have good habits, okay? Typically, money's just a byproduct. And if money's just a byproduct, then, you know, I wanna ask you, right? If only 14% of Americans have ever even tried meditating, I mean, how many of those people do it regularly, right? So, a very small percentage, I would imagine, and a very small percentage of the world's population and the US, right, have a lot of money, okay? So, you know, what that tells me is that a very small percentage of Americans have good habits, right? And if a very small percentage of Americans have good habits, then a very small percentage of Americans have probably ever invested in themselves, right? They're not taking time out of their day to meditate. They're not buying books, right? They're not journaling, right? They're not doing the little things. And I promise you, investing in yourself will change your life. A couple of other options when it comes to investing in yourself is to find a mentor or to buy a course, okay? So, you know, look, no matter what, right? Maybe you want to become a world-class photographer, a world-class videographer, a world-class cook, right? There are other people out there that have done it before you, right? And they can teach you what to do, what not to do, right? And if you have a little bit of extra money, or maybe you can find somebody that'll do it for free, but go invest in a mentor, invest in a good course, and again, I'm telling you, your life will change. The third thing you need to buy in your 20s, you might have guessed it, that is some freaking clothes. Because see, at the end of the day, you gotta dress for success, especially when you're just starting out. You got a brand new career, you wanna impress your boss, you wanna go out, you wanna be an entrepreneur, you wanna start your own company. Maybe you gotta even close some people, you gotta pitch some people. I don't know, but what I do know is this. If you start right now, dressing good, okay? Dressing for success. And this doesn't mean that you gotta go out and spend a ton of money, okay? There's a lot of ways that you can dress good on a budget. But I will promise you this, it will change your entire life. People will take you more seriously. Doors will open, deals will be easier to close, jobs will be easier to land, you'll get hired quicker, and I promise you, everybody will look at you and they'll wanna be you. Oscar Wilde said that you can never be overdressed and you can never be overeducated. Many studies have shown that the clothes you wear can not only affect your mental performance, but also your physical performance. I mean, isn't that something? The clothes that you wear, right? Like how in the world Could that affect those things? But I promise you that it does. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, Austin, times are a little crazy, okay? Depending on when you're watching the video, a lot of people are starting to work from home, right? A lot of people, they're waking up in their bedroom and they're walking out to the living room to get ready for the workday. And I tell you right now, this could not be more true and apply to you more than anybody if that is you. The last thing you want to do, I promise you, the last thing you want to do is wake up with your pajamas on and walk out to your living room and start working, okay? I promise you, you're not going to get anything done. Your productivity is going to go way down, and I promise you, overall, your performance is not even going to be remotely close to what you're capable of. And it was a whole fad for a while. I remember looking on social media and all these entrepreneurs, okay? Maybe you're watching the video and you're like,
Austin, I'm an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs, we don't need to wear nice clothes, right? We wear a hoodie and we wear whatever we want and we wear sweatpants and we fly private.
That might be a fad. That might be a little thing right now, right? And if you're a rapper, okay, if you're Jay-Z, you're Drake, you're Beyonce, you might be able to pull it off. But if you're not, dressing nice, I promise, will change your life. According to Business Insider, studies have actually shown that wearing nice clothes in the office can affect the way people perceive you, how confident you're feeling, and even how you're able to think abstractly. A study done in 2014 at Yale, they used 128 men between the ages of 18 and 32, okay? And the researchers had participants partake in mock negotiations of buying and selling, okay? And here's what happened. Those dressed poorly in sweatpants and plastic sandals averaged a theoretical profit of $680,000, while the group dressed in suits amassed an average profit of $2.1 million. And the group dressed neutrally, right in between, averaged a $1.58 million profit margin. If that doesn't literally prove what I'm saying, then I don't know what will. That being said, it isn't gonna have to cost you $1 million to look like $1 million, right? If you're on a budget, you can dress like $1 million without spending $1 million. If you're a guy, go to a store like Express, okay? Express has some phenomenal options, and literally, they have suits that will fit you off the rack, okay? You don't even have to get them tailored. You don't need some fancy guy that hems everything or that does all that junk for you, okay? You can do this on a budget. And according to a source of mine, I wouldn't know, but women apparently have thousands of options, even more than men, when it comes to dressing good on a budget.
Whoa, they ain't never seen nothing like this before. Lit the room when I came through the front.
And the fourth purchase that you should make in your 20s is, well, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Tesla, but you should go ahead and consider buying some form of reliable transportation. Reliable transportation, in my opinion, is just like wearing nice clothes. At the end of the day, when you pull up to a meeting, or maybe you're a real estate agent or an insurance agent, or you're going to apply for a new job and you're going to your interview and you pull up in a decent car, just makes you look good. Now again, that doesn't mean that you have to go out and spend a ton of money, okay? You don't need to go buy a Lamborghini, you certainly don't need a Rolls Royce, and you definitely don't need a Ferrari. But at the end of the day, you can get nice, reliable transportation that makes you look good on a budget. So as you can tell, I went out and I bought a Tesla Model 3. Now, I've been in business for quite a while and I was able to afford this, and I've made other videos on, kind of all of that, okay? But again, you can go out and you can buy a car that doesn't necessarily have to even cost that much, and it will be extremely reliable and very nice. There are a million different cars out there, and you don't even need a brand new car. You can get a nice used car on Craigslist, on OfferUp, on Facebook Marketplace. You could even go to an auction and you can get a good deal on a car. You could even buy it below market value that again is still very reliable and looks good. And not only are you trying to impress the people that you're maybe pulling up to at an interview or whatever the case is, but the last thing in the world that you want is to not have a car that is reliable, and you miss an interview, you miss an appointment, you miss meeting with a client because you got a flat tire, because your battery was dead, because your car wouldn't start, okay? You want to know that no matter what, you're going to get in your car is going to start, and it is going to get the job done. It is going to get you from point A to point B without a shadow of a doubt. And not only that, but for me personally, having a nice car kind of elevates my overall vibration, right? It holds me to a higher standard. My back is up against the wall a little bit more. I want to be successful. I want to make more money. When I get into my car, it is a good vibe, right? It forces me out into the marketplace, into the world, to actually generate income, right? To make my payment, to pay for my insurance, and overall, it just changes the game. So that wraps up number 4, you gotta have reliable transportation. All right, for the 5th and final purchase is a quality mattress, okay? And you're like,
Austin, what in the heck? That is like really, really random.
but you know what? You spend a third of your life sleeping. Did you know that? You spend a third of your life sleeping. You're probably like, Austin, I gotta sleep less. That's at least what I thought when I read the article. I'm like, a third of my life is sleeping. I gotta cut that down to like 25% immediately. But look, at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is you need good sleep, right? You need the proper sleep in order to recover, right? Whether you're working out and you need to recover, whether your brain needs to recover, you're working hard, you have a career, right? You're trying to get a raise, you're trying to raise a family, whatever the case is, you need quality sleep. And if you can go ahead and get into that habit at a young age and have a quality mattress to sleep on that'll last you, honestly, a very long time, then I would recommend that you do that. So I just got done talking to the mattress guy. I just talked to him, and there are so many different mattresses. I didn't even realize how many different mattresses there were. And some of them, he told me straight up. He's like, Austin, he's like, that mattress will last you like a couple of years at the most. And there were other mattresses, okay, that I laid on and that he showed me where he said, Austin, that mattress will last you 30 years. So there is clearly a big difference when it comes to mattresses, okay? And the funny thing is, I actually went to Costco and I bought a mattress. It was like one of those like mattresses in a box. And I didn't end up liking it, okay? It was a little too firm for me. I didn't end up liking it. And I'm trying to take my own advice here, and I'm trying to buy a good mattress, okay? But the reality of it is, I ended up actually taking that one back. And now I was mattress shopping again, right? Because I wanted to make sure that I myself had a phenomenal mattress to sleep on. The last thing you wanna do, right, is work your butt off, show up early, stay late, go do whatever it takes to become successful, right? Spiritually, financially, emotionally, physically, whatever, and go home at night to try to get a good night's sleep and just sleep like crap. And you know what I'm talking about, right? You rolling, you're turning, and you can't sleep, you know? And every half an hour you're waking up, and that is no fun. If you've ever been there before, you know what I'm talking about. Americans are actually getting less sleep now than they did almost 100 years ago. In 1942, the average American got an average of 7.9 hours of sleep every single night. And in 2013, the average American was only getting 6.8 hours of sleep every single night. Now, I don't know exactly what to attribute that to, but what I will say is this, right? If you get a good mattress, right, then it increases your odds of getting a good night's rest significantly. Because according to 43% of Americans, they say that they could and that they should be getting not only more sleep, but better sleep. And here's a really interesting one for you. Sleeping the least are people that make less than $30,000 a year. Now, again, you can attribute that to whatever you want to attribute it to, but what I might attribute it to is that maybe, just maybe, people that make less money can't afford a nicer mattress, okay? I don't know, just maybe, okay? And here's another one. People that have children, and last but not least, people ages 18 to 29. So young people are not getting good sleep, okay? Take care of your body, go out, buy a good mattress, do what I just did. I know it's an investment. I'm the last person in the world that wanted to drop $1,000 on a dang mattress, okay? But I decided to take my own advice and go ahead and bite the bullet. So that's all I have for you guys. Again, I really appreciate you for watching. These are my 5 top purchases that I believe you should buy in your 20s, okay? As soon as you possibly can. I really appreciate it, guys. Again, my name's Austin Zaback. Go ahead and drop in the comment section below what you liked, what you didn't like. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you took a minute and just smashed that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.